welcome to Hooptie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and I'm certainly going to earn that title today with what just went down with my Hooptie trading. So let's recap. I actually traded off 5 of my cars towards this incredible machine right here. Well, not really, it was just 2 of them, but this is probably the nicest Escalade in existence, and I just had to have it, but I had no money at the time, so I was going to turn down my friend dealer buddy who was selling this and let it go. But he proposed the idea of a trade, and I was willing to buy all the cars that I wanted to sell, so I sold 5. But in my head, there were 2 going towards the trade of this. The rest, I was getting a big check. And those 2 were my 2003 Ford Mustang Mach 1 in grabber blue and less than 10,000 miles on it, and my Eldorado, my 1999 Cadillac EldoRodo that was customized in a crazy way. An amazing story with that, which we'll get to in a little bit. But those 2 cars went towards this Escalade, which sold for a record on Bring a Trailer, I think $37,000 a few years ago. And, well, I did sell them at a wholesale price, but figured I wasn't leaving a bunch of money on the table. And, well, boy, was I wrong. Now, the grabber blue Mustang, it didn't meet reserve because it was selling on the day the stock market crashed because of tariffs and all that stuff, I imagine. It got bid to only $18,000, which is way below what it's worth. I think the seller's only asking $22,000. Spencer at Geneva Motor Cars, so you can look him up. It is still for sale. An amazing deal. So I kind of felt bad because he was losing on that. Obviously, he didn't take the reserve, so he didn't take the loss. He'll sell it eventually. But didn't think he'd be making it up on the Eldorado as crazily. So the day of the sale on the Eldorado, I saw it was bid up to $20,000 already, which is a lot of money. It sold 3 times in the past after being sold by General Motors. All 3 of those times in the teens, like in 2008 for like 17, and then again for 15, and then I bought it for 13. And obviously spent some money fixing it up, but I sold it to him for around $15,000, so losing a little bit. So seeing the bid was already at 20 grand, I texted him and said, well, you owe me some floor mats for this Escalade, because I thought it came with floor mats. In the pictures it had it, but now they're gone. They have WeatherTech floor mats. And he said, yeah, I'll send you some, no problem. But then 2 guys absolutely went insane for the Cadillac. And they were just duking it out, bidding up thousands of dollars each time. So it went from 20 to 25 really quickly, to 30, to 35, to 40, to 45, to 48. And then the final knockout bid was $55,000. They jumped the bid 7 grand for the final bid to win my Eldorado that I sold for around $15-ish thousand. So me taking the quick sale, taking the trade because of my weakness for Escalades, meant I left $40,000 on the table to the dealer who flipped my Eldorado in the dumbest move that I've made in a very long time. It's like if Ed Bolian discovered how rare his Lamborghini Murcielagos are with the gated manual transmission and then sold it to John Tamarian, a friend, so that he could make all the profit, just sort of broke even on it. That's exactly what I did. I curated all this history of this Eldorado because it was kind of pre-internet, found some old footage, and a lot of you watching my videos helped me find some of this old footage and documentation of this car, figured out how important and amazing it was. GM commissioned this build with a famous hot rod shop and the show circuit everywhere. All the magazines back in periods showed this car. It was a really, really big deal, a multiple 6-figure build as far as the quality and all that stuff. And not only that, we went through it and made it all functional. In the 90s, they didn't know how to do like mirror cameras, but they mocked it up, pretending that was what the future would be like. And well, we got that all working with 2025 technology. So we went to all that trouble getting the poppers to work, the air ride to work. And I had even told Jake, my photographer, to take pictures of it. So at the 1-yard line, I'm about to put this thing up for sale. I just passed the ball off and let somebody else score a massive, massive touchdown. So nobody would have guessed that. Nobody would have guessed 2 crazy people would have bid that thing up to $55,000, but I feel like a total and complete idiot. And in the past, I've gotten a collection of cars and got them together to sell on Cars and Bids, like I have in several years past with Doug, as well as Barrett Jackson, and I have never hit it big like that. Even with my Hemi Superbird, when I brought it to auction, you know, it made, I don't know, $10,000 or $15,000. There was one Miata at a Barrett Jackson where I set the record for a Miata, but still that was like making $10,000. A lot of money, obviously, but not like, holy crap, this thing's bringing quadruple what I paid for it. And recently, the hits have been absolutely insane, especially selling most recently on Cars and Bids, taking a $17,000 loss on a Land Rover Evoque, and basically all losses. So I didn't think there was much prestige with me owning the cars at all, but certainly that car, I suppose, itself and all of the history of it that I uncovered for the next person to make a bunch of money was really incredibly stupid. So I've been kicking myself for the past week or so, most definitely, and especially with my situation and how badly I needed that money, because the only other home run of my life when it comes to cars was the Lamborghini Countach, which I rolled that, traded it into my Bugatti, which is structured as a lease. I did a previous video on that where I screwed myself up tax-wise by doing a lease and having to pay the gains on the Countach, which was like a $100,000+ tax bill on the gains from how much I made on that car, but then not being able to write it off immediately because of the lease structure on the Countach. Anyway, it's really complicated, but basically I had to pay over 100 grand in taxes on no money in the account because I traded it all in on the Bugatti. So I'm still licking my wounds with taxes, and that money would have gone a very, 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 very long way. And it feels like I keep making stupid mistakes because, like with the house and everything else, that's the reason why I was in tax trouble, is because of me going too crazy with the home renovations and getting ripped off there. And it's just a lot of, I feel like I can't win. So anyway, today we're going to not just wallow in my own self-pity, which obviously I'm complaining because I'm a complete idiot, but you shouldn't feel bad for me because I'm still in a great situation with all the cars and everything that I have. So I am very grateful, and I am very grateful for you all watching. But today we're going to do a little bit of wrenching on the Evo, and I'm going to go through a lot of the other projects in the garage and well, try and end this video on a happy note, because right now I feel like a full-on idiot, a full-on idiot, because I am. Obviously, I've had a bit more anxiety in the last few months with my recent failures, but one common trigger point that I certainly can identify with is looking at other social media accounts, whether it be with my friends or my peers, and looking at how successful or happy they seem in comparison. You compare it to yourself, like their families are growing, or they look great and happy, not looking all tired and burned out, or watching their businesses take off while it feels like you're just spinning your wheels in the mud, and it can lead to a lot of anxiety comparing yourself that way, and trust me, I know exactly how it feels. Anxiety often peaks in the late springtime, and my sponsor BetterHelp can connect you with a therapist who can provide support. The majority of BetterHelp members seek support for anxiety, and 69% of members report improved anxiety symptoms after 6 weeks of therapy on BetterHelp. And it's really easy to start. Just fill out a questionnaire, and you'll be matched with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. You can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost if it's not the right fit. They carefully make sure therapists on the platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is there to help you if you have any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is the platform that you can trust. Let BetterHelp help you rule your anxiety so it doesn't rule you. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/Hooptie'sGarage and get 10% off your first month of therapy. So yeah, I could have listed the Eldorado myself and had $55,000, bought this for low 30s and had, well, 20 grand in my pocket, and still been able to sell the Grabber Blue Mach 1 for 20-something thousand dollars. Now the other cars, I think some of them have sold. The Testarossa has sold. He made a small profit on that, and I believe that my FJ Cruiser is still for sale for about $12,000. Traded it in for around 8, so I don't know, the price might be a little high on that. Or maybe I sold it a little too cheap, but I didn't want Spencer, my friend, my dealer buddy, to lose money. And I know in Wisconsin, finding a rust-free FJ Cruiser would be very difficult. And it turns out I did probably do him a really big solid on the Fisker Karma as well, that we couldn't figure out how to get the blower motor working among other issues. And it turns out it's probably the wrong blower motor that was put in, and that's why it wasn't kicking on. So with the right blower motor, a few $100, that car might be functional again, and I sold it for an over $10,000 loss. So that might be another home run for Geneva Motor Cars. So yeah, the hits just keep on coming. But the Bugatti Veyron is doing great, running great. I do very much enjoy driving it. I don't regret the purchase decision there, even though it does have the massive $14,000 monthly payment. The rest of the cars, well, there's a lot of suffering going on here, unfortunately, with the Hooptie fleet. The Jurassic Park Jeep, it's stuck in low range. Apollo 911 doesn't move very much. There's dead mice in the battery area and things, but as far as I know, it drives fine. The air conditioning is dead, a few other things. On my my 1998 BMW 740iL. The AC is also leaked out on that one over the winter, and it's dribbling a little bit of fluid, but not bad. Still has to go over to the car ninja to get fixed and sorted out. My Bentley Continental GT, it does have a little bit of a list right now, which it does when it sits sometimes. The front right side tends to sag, but everything is fine with that car. The 62 Corvette, just being a leaky old Corvette, but I haven't been driving it very much, if at all, so this one might be on the chopping block soon, to be honest with you, because I still have to catch up on the taxes and I haven't been driving it all that much. The Aston Martin Vanquish, unfortunately, I took it out the other day, very excited to drive it for the first time in months. Gave me a low coolant warning, and I can smell coolant under the hood, so it is broken. My grandmother's 500 SL that she gave me when I was 16, I talked about going through that, getting it out of mothballs, new tires, and just going through and starting to drive it again. That hasn't happened at all. The pace car, another car that's probably going to go soon because I haven't driven it very much since it got up on the lift, and if I'm not using it, it needs to go. The SLR McLaren, always been a solid citizen, knocking on wood here, but it is a fantastic, amazing machine. Only 8,000 miles on it though, so pretty low mileage and due for another oil change, which is really easy to do on those. The Maybach 62, I really need to get it over to the Mercedes dealer because the SBC, the electronic brakes, have failed on the other side. It had one a few years ago, and now it needs the other side done, which is a recall still warranted by Mercedes, so they'll pay for it, and then I can service it. But since tracking it, it does need some suspension work, which I wasn't able to find the parts for the lower control arms and the bushing and stuff easily. So hopefully when I get it in there, that can be fixed. But I'm noticing it's getting dribbled on from above. Some fluid from, well, Christine, it looks like. So the Plymouth Fury probably needs another round of repairs, but I do very much enjoy driving that car. And the Ford F-150 Lightning, well, it's a Ford pickup truck, so it's running and driving great. Go to the other side in the Imperial Frank Sinatra edition. It is back home after a lot of work, and unfortunately needs a lot more work. It is dribbling out all kinds of stuff. So now that it's back in use again and it's actually drivable, more issues are going to pop up, and that's what's happening. April's Lincoln just had about $1,200 worth of fixes. The Grand Camino and the Grand National are still running fine as far as I know. The 49 Cadillac is sold, at some point going to England. This is another one where it could have been a home run if I put it on a Bring a Trailer. There was one on Bring a Trailer just like it with a 500 cubic inch V8 that sold for a whole lot more. So who knows, maybe the buyer will flip it for double once it gets to England. I'm not sure, but yeah, feeling like a total idiot right now. Right here is my Dodge Dakota, which April gave me. This is a nice surprise here. Unfortunately, it was traded in at a Honda dealer, and nobody just trades in a really clean, nice truck for, you know, a couple grand at a Honda dealer unless there was something seriously wrong, which there was. They put mechanic in a can to hide a bad head gasket, and this is the aftermath right here. Needs the head's machined and new gaskets. All the parts are here in the back, so it is ready to go. I did stop myself from taking the heads off to be machined though, just because I'm thinking it might make sense to get new heads just at 160-something thousand miles, and it was guzzling a lot of coolant and it was getting into the oil. So what if it is cracked somewhere and we don't know? And it's $1,000 for new heads, or like $300 or $400 for machining. So why not start with something fresh? At least that's what I'm thinking, because yeah, you look at the valve covers and there's all that milkshake. So no bueno. But some good news right here. The Evo, I had the wheels stolen off of it for Car Trek, as you'll see when it comes out in a month on the VinWiki channel. But I let them go and let them stay on the vehicle that it went onto because J&J Auto Wrecking was sending me some really nice stuff. These came off of a wrecked later Evo 10, and you can see this one is where the hit was. The suspension completely fell apart on that side. The wheel was tucked under. It went for a bit of a ride, so hopefully it's straight. But he gave me a great deal on this and the seats out of it, which are the Recaro buckets, which were supposedly stolen out of this one in exchange for generic Evo seats. So we're going to swap all this out and then take it for another drive in a little bit, and there's lots of hoopties outside. The 72 Ford is covered in trash. because I need to make a dump run and just haven't had time, but it seems to be running and driving fine. I have my Hellcat that's still sitting here because I'm debating whether or not to do the wide body kit. I need new wheels. They're absolutely trash. If I do wide body, I need wide body wheels, so that is the debate right now. Leaning towards not doing it, actually, because I hear the horror stories from legit street cars and others. The Tesla Model S Plaid, need to sell that one. The Cadillac Lyriq that April's driving is doing great. And there is one or two other cars outside that I haven't shown you yet. One's the Car Trek car that's absolutely insane. And another one that I'm really excited to unveil. Started filming on that one already, but want a little more to happen, a little more progress on the car before I unveil it to you for the video. So I'm stalling now, but I'm going to do a little bit of wrenching here, I suppose, getting some wheels and some seats on. Hopefully it goes better than the last time I worked on a car in here, which was the Bugatti. What was that? What was...
Yeah, I'm feeling tipsy. I'm on the move.
Frank has come to lend a hand. It's a good boy, dear. Yes, wheels take one didn't go so well because the lugs were too long. So Jake is back at the auto parts store to pick those up. But the interior gut, while he's been gone, has gone really easily. Simple bolts, just 4 for the seat back. The bottom just pops out, 4 for each seat. And yeah, we have a naked interior right now. Kind of funny, the windshield washer's in the back along with the battery on the Evos. And well, there's an amplifier on the floor, I think, but otherwise nothing too scary or weird looking or different. On the driver's side, the seatbelt is mounted to the pillar. On the passenger side, the bottom of the seatbelt's mounted to the seat. So I had to unbolt it here, but nothing, yeah, nothing too crazy. So now I'll just put it all back in, hopefully get the right size wheel bolts, and this thing's on the ground. Well, I'll make that 40 grand back a quarter at a time here. We have 26 cents. Hey, 51. Well, we've got about $1.50 right here. Okay, not bad. And what is that? Oh, that is a petrified pig in a blanket with a pube attached to it. Oh, dear God. Oh.
We're in the groove. People are smiling, and the music is on fire. The lights are turning me on, and they're lifting me higher. I want to tell you that I feel alright. Yeah, I feel fine. Yeah, something inside me is saying that I'm on the move, baby. Hey, I'm moving on up to a higher destination. I'm moving on up.
Well, I gotta say, those wheels are perfect for the Evo, but unfortunately, I would have been way better off just buying a nice example in the first place, because this one was dirt cheap for a running and driving Evo for only 8 grand. Great deal for a little over 100,000 miles, but it showed up with a lot of issues. The shipper is messing up the exhaust. That cost me $1,000. There's still a lot of cosmetic things to do with it as well, but the suspension was shot. The all-wheel drive was shot. The interior, disgusting. So many other little things. It was running terribly as well. So that's all sorted out now, but that was another $7,000 of work done to this thing, and it would have been a lot more, way more, if I didn't have J&J Auto Wrecking sending me some parts for some incredible discounts. They have some great deals out there, like these seats for $700, the whole interior. Same goes for the wheels. So they really hooked me up. Thank you so much, J&J Auto Wrecking, for doing that and saving me somewhat. But yeah, 15 grand into an Evo 10 that's probably worth, I don't know, 10, maybe 12 on its best day. So I've been able to win recently with a lot of these Hooptie projects. It's just getting worse and worse as far as what's getting dumped at auctions and the condition of them and the cost to recondition them. Modern cars, it's just getting so difficult. But the good news is The good news is I really, really, really like this car. No plans on selling it. Unfortunately, it does have a super illegal window tint on it as well that I'm going to peel off. And dummy forgot to hook in the driver's seat airbag stuff, so I triggered the light there, but just a simple reset on that one. But now it is the moment of truth. Are these wheels still smooth after being in a pretty major accident? And they are. It's a miracle. Because on the wrecked car, you see in the images, it showed up with the wheels sort of tucked underneath the body. It definitely went for a ride, so I got lucky there. And they're Michelin Pilot Sport tires, so some pretty nice, expensive rubber as well. The seats, they are in mint condition. So the car that got destroyed, it must have been a crying shame because everything that came off of it is so dang nice. So the interior, it's cleaned up. It's nice, it's good to go. It's got good wheels. The body, well, you saw the pillar here that got damaged when somebody tried to pry their way into it, unfortunately. So that's definitely an issue. The front bumper and tons of other little stuff back when this car was too low got pretty beat up. So that's the next step. Do I go through and do I paint this thing, make it really nice? And I think the answer is no. That little dirt road right there saves me about 5 or 7 minutes getting into town. And if I clean this thing up, make it too nice, I won't want to take it down that dirt road, take it on the rally stage. So my budget's dictating it, but I also think I'm going to leave this one scruffy. So I am very, very happy here, even though it's another loss in a string of many L's that I've taken recently. So what does the future hold? Will I be doing anything differently? Probably not. Probably not. I'll just hope the wind starts blowing in a different direction. Thank you so much for watching.